Okay, today we're going to determine the specific gravity and absorption of coarse aggregate. So when we do a concrete mix design, all aggregates are assumed to be in the saturated surface dry condition. What that means is the outside is dry, but all internal voids are filled with water. The way we're going to get to that is to take completely saturated aggregate, dry the surface, and then weigh it in water. It is a weird and fun process. So first, here I have our coarse aggregate. The coarse aggregate has been hand sieved through the number 4 sieve. It has been dried for 24 hours in a 110-degree oven, and then it has been soaked in water at room temperature for 24 hours. It is completely wet. I have just decanted the water off of it. What we're going to do is take these towels and dry it off until the surface of the aggregate is dry, just like this dry aggregate I have here. Now, we're going to get there by using a bunch of rags, but I like to have the dry aggregate here so that when I get the wet aggregate to look like the dry aggregate, I know I've got it in the saturated surface dry condition. So, I'm going to open up my towel. I'm going to dump my aggregate in. I lost one or two there. It's all right, I have a little bit extra. And I'm going to start drying this thing. So I'm going to push it around, spread it out on my towel, throw some rags in, and start drying. As you can see, after some work, elbow grease, and a bunch of rags and paper towels, we've got our wet aggregate to match our never wet aggregate or dry aggregate. And so now it's time to start taking some measurements. Now that we have our aggregate dry, there's 4 measurements we need to take. We need to know the weight of this basket in air. We need to know the weight of this basket in air with aggregate. We need to know the weight of this basket in water. And we need to know the weight of this basket in the water plus the aggregate. So I'm going to start with the basket in air, move on to the basket in water, then I'm going to add the aggregate and make the final measurements. These rocks will go in the oven for 24 hours, and then we'll weigh them when they're dry, and I'll get the final measurement of just the basket in the water so that we can get the weights of all the aggregates.